Hey everyone, it's Salman Qureshi. You're listening to the Expat Brat podcast. How are you guys? I hope you're doing as well as I am because I am on the top of the fantasy Premier League that I'm in with my friends. Well, actually, not right at the top. I had a good week last week and I got 76 points. That was awesome. It was complete fluke. As we go through the season, people will figure out that I have no idea about the league or the players, and that I Googled most of my team out to see who to put in, and so I got lucky. And now I'm not on top. I'm like in the middle of the leagues I'm playing with a couple of different friends. If you're not into that stuff, that's fine. I recently got into it like last season, so I'm very new to this myself. But point is, don't take away from the fact that I'm feeling great about it. I have the right to enjoy it, even if it might be short lived, right? And I hope you guys are also having a great time with your lives and everything is great at work and you are quietly quitting. Yeah, that's the new phrase all over LinkedIn. I think I don't know if I've seen enough of it around other social media platforms, but why would I guess? How do you talk about quiet quitting on TikTok? Do you do like a dance and go, "Hey, we're all quiet quitting"? Boom, boom. I don't know. If you don't know what it means, apparently, what I've understood is that it's basically doing the bare minimum at work, or and I think that's the wrong way to say it because it makes it sound like you're kind of lazing around, which it shouldn't, because you were hired to do the bare minimum. I don't know. It just makes you sound lazy when you say it like that. I think what some other people have described it as is when you stick to your job role and the job description and everything in it and not have to go above and beyond, which means, you're 9 to 5, you work 9 to 5. You are supposed to do 5 things through the day. You do those 5 things, not the six. And part of it is because people are getting sick, apparently, of not being paid enough to do more work. Now, that's always been the case, I think, throughout life. When was it not, right? Like, there's always a bunch of us who are like, I didn't get a raise. I don't want to be proactive anymore, blah, blah, blah. But it's, they're making it sound like it's a recent phenomenon. Maybe it's highlighted because of post pandemic, right? Here's what I'm thinking. Companies went, hey, we can let go of some people and the company's still running. So let's get everyone else who's scared about losing their job to do all the work. And since we're making more profits that way, let's keep it like that. But those people are people and they're kind of going, hey, man, I am tired. I'm so tired. I gotta, give me a raise or something. And that's not happening. It's terrible management, probably. Yeah, some people, managers put you off, don't they? It's all managers' fault. The fault of bad managers. Yeah, I was told a long time ago, you quit your job. No, well, you do quit your job at some point. You leave your manager, not your job. I think it was something like that, and basically it sums it up, right? You working under some a-hole, and so you're like, I'm leaving. All right, unless you're your own boss like I am, which makes it hard because sometimes I do think I'm one too. But I've tried firing myself and I've also tried quitting, but these two have a complex relationship. It's like they keep coming back to each other and going, you know what, we'll keep you on. And the other one, the employee Sal, goes, all right, fine, you know what, actually I really need the job too, so I'm gonna stick around. But they got to work this stuff out, man. It's terrible for everyone involved, especially those two. And a little crazy here. So yeah, I don't know. Are you quiet quitting, or are you actually really happy in your job and your life? Can you quiet quit in other areas of your life? Like, I want to quiet quit on my gym side of things because I feel like even when I'm working hard, I'm not getting results. Oh no. Now that I've said this out loud, my phone's gonna pick this shit up. All I'm gonna see are ads for personal trainers with copy of like, hey, is your thing not working? Well, we know the real secret to fat busting. And they'll claim to have this new concept of like eating better and working out more. Because everything is just a version of that, isn't it? That's what a $1 billion hoax we're going through with the fitness industry. All right. So now that I've got that out of that, yeah, quiet quitting, and we should be allowed to do it in other areas of our life, right? Maybe not marriage, or at least not out loud. That might not go down well with your spouse. Maybe parenting as well, because both are unpaid jobs, I guess, anyway. And you should do it for the love. But then, should you do your job out of love as well? Now we're kind of confused. It's kind of tricky also because, hey, if you're quiet quitting, you know what I'd love to find out is that the people who are doing it, do they actually progress faster through their career? Because I sometimes feel like the corporate world, there's something broken about it. And so, not necessarily if you're the hardest worker or the most productive worker that you'll get ahead. It's true, even for the best of organizations. But if you, because anyone who's worked long enough will be like, will look at one person in your company and go, how did that idiot, how did that idiot get so far ahead and is now managing us, right? Like us, like, what did they do? How did they must have failed their way through this stuff? That's the only way I can think about it. I swear. So you have these people. So there's definitely something about, I think maybe, and I've heard different stuff. Maybe it's just like you hang about, you stick around, and no matter what they say about merit and whatnot, you stick around long enough, you might just get ahead or do less, or I don't know, right? Like it's the Homer Simpson thing going on everywhere. And people joke about that, but I guarantee you there are loads of Homer Simpsons everywhere doing really well and happy with their lives. So maybe quiet quitting is the way to go. So do it, find out. In 6 months down the line, either you'll be like, hey, Salman, that was great. I've done so well in my life since. Everyone's happy. My family's happy. I'm earning more money. My bank account's happy. Or you could be coming back and going, hey, none of us have been working for 6 months. And now I work at McDonald's. So, I don't know. Could happen. It's not the best of times. Man, it's kind of scary. Like my home country, Pakistan, has had some floods. Well, some floods. It's turned into a mini ocean with like, I don't know, 1/3 of the country like covered up. And obviously anything of that kind, catastrophe of that kind, you're going to have people displaced, dead, and whatnot. But it's like right now, I think the number's like 30 million plus, and that's crazy. That's crazy because, I don't think we're the biggest contributors to climate change. So it's kind of shitty that country has to go through the consequences of everything some of these rich countries have done over the years. But life's unfair that way, I guess, as always. And maybe it's nature's way of saying privileged people will always be privileged, I guess. Not to make fun of the flood thing. That's serious. But I do think, man, this is a start, isn't it? Like I'm reading some really crazy stuff. I read somewhere where some scientists were like, it might be too late. They were looking at the Greenland ice, what do you call it? Frozen ice and whatever the ice. I can't find that word now. The ice is melting. That's what I'm going to stick to. So it's gone to the point where they're like, even if we stop everything now, all the gas emissions and everything contributing to climate change, it's too late. Yeah, I read that and I was like, what do you mean by that? Could you elaborate, please? Because they just said, even if we stop everything now, we're just in this like, in this flow of stuff melting, and water's going to rise like a foot to 10 feet to 20 feet around the world over the next 15, 20 years. And I know it sounds small, but I suppose it's not like a bathtub where the water just goes up all the way together. It's probably going to like go up higher in some places, lower in other places. And I bet it'll be the poor countries again that will probably be flooded for some reason. I don't know. Like it's a crime to be poor or from a third world country or a developing country, whatever you want to call it. My point is, it's too late. And now we're in the midst of this climate change. If this stuff is true, we're all going to have to look like, I think I'm already starting to work on my survival techniques and trying to eat raw food, trying to adapt. I'm I don't know what else. Like I've watched a lot of zombie movies. Like Walking Dead was a great series, so I'm thinking maybe I can learn some stuff off it, and look at what are the important things to learn. But here's my top tip. Yeah, top tip to survive the upcoming climate crisis. Inspired by loads of Hollywood movies. No, that's not true. I have a very simple survival. I think go to where the ice is melting. Right. Right? I don't. If you know the history, Greenland is obviously just this frozen large island. I think it's bigger than some countries. We forget how huge Greenland is. When I say some countries, I mean like larger countries. If it must be in the top 20 easy, right? It's a huge piece of land, and they named it Greenland to try. It was like a marketing ploy to fool people to coming there. Kind of like a lot of comics calling themselves the funniest comic in that insert city name where you live, and Greenland was named that, but now it actually is turning into that, right? So I'm thinking we should get in now. I don't know what the politics is of that. I'm sure the population's super low. Is to claim some piece of land in there, like it'll be the new world. That's where we're all headed, man. So if we get in early and just sit tight and watch the rest of the world submerged in water, and then go, hey, we're good. We want to come over to Kingdom of Sal, right? Just this little cutout on the whole island of Greenland or whatever. I think that might work. I think that's that your future generations will thank you, and you can thank me. I just hope I can take my podcast stuff there and it works. We'll figure the details out, okay? But that's that's what we got to do, man. I think that's our only way to survive this whole thing. And then you can repopulate it there, just like our ancestors, by marrying into cousins. Oh my God. I don't know what to make of this stuff though, right? And how much are we going to save, like in countries that are already in so much trouble? And it's really, I don't know. I just found out Mikhail Gorbachev, is that how we still pronounce it? I forgot how we pronounce his name. He passed away today. I didn't know the guy was still alive. For those of you not born in the 80s, he's the guy who was ruling Russia, was a president of Russia, but it was still the Soviet Union back then, and he oversaw it change into Russia. So I guess a hero at that time. I wonder if he's still considered like bad back home in Russia for breaking it up. Probably is, right? I don't think Putin likes that kind of stuff. I wonder how it's gonna go down. He was famous for this mark on his on the top of his head. I can't remember what it was, but I remember this in the subcontinent. We eat this thing called pan. I don't know if you guys know about this, and it's kind of this leaf with beetroot or something mixed into it, and it has like this red liquid come out, the mix of the stuff in there, and then people spit that bit out, kind of like tobacco with the baseball players, like you know how they spit it out, except it's red, like dark red, blackish. And and if you go to the subcontinent, you'll see these marks all over urban areas because people just spit it out in places. And the thing, unfortunately, on his forehead looked like that, and that's how I always remember him. Unfortunately, I was a kid when he was being some great guy, sorting out Russia, USSR, whatever it was, and now that's how I'm gonna remember him. There's a guy someone spat Bond on. Look up Bond. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna tell you what's in it actually, because as a kid I loved it. You got two versions of it. There was a Sweden version. Okay, so it's beetle quid, an Indian after dinner that consists of a beetle leaf filled with chopped beetle with a lot of beetle in this. Is it even beetle? Beetle nut chewing. Um, what else is in this? Let me see. Beetle chewing. I got to expand this article. And chopped beetle nut. Some kind of nut. Doesn't say what. I don't know. I didn't think it was nut. Slaked lime. Slaked lime. Calcium hydroxide. Isn't that stuff you use in building painting or something? I think no wonder it's banned in a lot of places now. And then there's this red paste made from some hair tree. There's a Acacia catechu maybe added. I think it is that. That's the red bit, right? And so yeah, it was like mint after food kind of thing. And then I guess for the kids and stuff, there's a sweetened version. I don't know what they add to make it sweet because that doesn't sound like the sweet version. There definitely is something else in the sweet version that's added, and that would be what is that? It's what is sweet bond made of? This is a beetle leaf, piper food, slake lime, to which it's a, no, doesn't say. Doesn't say. Maybe it's that red paste thing that makes it sweet. Anyway, regardless, it was the world leader. That's how I'm describing them to you, not about their accomplishments. I'm sorry, this is so insensitive. He just died, and that's what's going on in my head. Blame childhood memories for that. It's not my fault. And now you've learned something about my culture and how disgusting it can be sometimes. I loved Pan, but then I saw the effects of it everywhere, and I went, "Wow, it's like worse than it's like chewing gum. How people spit chewing gum and tobacco, but just mix the two and add lots of like red marks that are not easy to erase." And I wonder if someone could do graffiti out of all of that, like just spit Pan all over a wall and see if we can produce something. Oh my God, someone's gonna listen to this and they're gonna do it, and it's gonna be sold for millions of dollars because oh my God, ethnic painting and whatnot. And then I probably, you know what? Probably some white guy will appropriate this, and and I'll be left with the idea on my podcast. And I'll try to sue him or earn something off that artist, sue them, and then it'll go to court, and they'd be like, "We're not sure. It wasn't concrete enough in your podcast. It was on an unpopular podcast, so the chances of someone having listened to it from there are rare, are low, and I'll lose my chance to make some money." I just want to tell that future white artist that, whatever you did, I may not win that court case, but I will curse you for the rest of my life. I hope that makes you think twice about stealing my idea and using it. All right? Okay, cool. Now that we've got that cleared, what else is going on? My wife's back, and that's great. I realized I missed her, man. And when she's not around, it's tough because she left the kid with me, and I think I've covered that in the past podcast. I didn't just miss her because of that. She's great company. Every time I look at her, I'm like, I don't know what she's doing with me, and I don't like saying it on the podcast, just in case she listens to this episode and she's like, "Oh, he's so dependent on me." You don't want anyone to have that kind of power over you, right? I don't know. I like it. That sounded kinky now all of a sudden. Anywho, that's what's going on with me, man. I think I've been listening to. Oh, I gotta recommend. I've been listening to "God Did" by DJ Khaled, the new album, and there are a couple of songs on it that I instantly am in love with. So if you're, I don't know if everyone's a DJ Khaled fan, but why wouldn't you be? Because it seems like he's in every song anyway, right? But if you haven't listened to this album, this isn't like a promo for it. God Did is a great song by itself. There's a song called Use This Gospel. I think that's the best, like in terms of the beats and everything. It's just a really catchy song. But my favorite, actually, that is my favorite. And the other one I really liked was Party. I think it's partly nostalgic because it's got this beat to it in the background of this Eddie Murphy song from 1985 called Party All the Time. Yeah, fun fact. If you have not listened to that song ever, you gotta listen to it and watch the videos that Eddie Murphy did. He released a couple of songs. He has a song with Michael Jackson that was released. I think that one was in the 90s. So Eddie, at the height of his fame, what was the story? He bet someone. Was it a fellow comic? Maybe it was Richard Pryor. I'm trying to remember the story. Yeah, and Richard Pryor said, you can't sing, and to prove it, he released a single, and this song went to number 2 on the Billboard Top 100 list for a few weeks, and it is a really good song. If you haven't heard it, it goes. No, I'm not gonna sing it for you. It's terrible. It's called Party All the Time. Check it out. It's probably on YouTube and whatnot, right? So it's a good song, and DJ Khaled's used it as kind of like the choruses, like in the background of the song called Party in God Did, and because of that, I just loved it. It was also one of my favorite songs from it. It's a really good album, though. It's rare nowadays that I listen to an album and I love the album immediately. Usually, it's a song here and there, or if it's someone I'm really like a fan of, then maybe I'll like think I love the music. But this one was just like instant, yeah. And yeah, check it out. I'm also really looking forward to the Weird Al movie. Kind of and kind of not. Like, it's an interesting story, but then I saw the trailer. Actually, I'm lying to myself. I was excited about it, then I saw the trailer, and I have 2 problems with the trailer. One, you kind of get the gist. It's the same story. He gets rich, goes through a typical rock star thing, goes through drug whatever phase, and then comes out of it and is a better person. So that was just like very cliche looking, and maybe they could have cut the trailer better. I don't know. I'm sure the movie's better. And then Daniel Radcliffe. I don't think he was the right actor. I've seen actors who portray real people, and you almost forget like that person is playing it. Those are some great, there's so many good examples of that, and you just go, wow, I really did forget that an actor is playing this real other person. But with him, I was just like, that's Daniel Radcliffe in a funny wig. And that just took away so much. I think it's terrible. You just know it's him. Check it out, because I was just like, no, I don't like this at all. Not a little tiny little bit. So yeah, kind of a little bit of my excitement went out from that. Anywho, guys, I got a busy day ahead and I got to get into work mode. This has been fun. Listen, if you're a generous person, contribute to some cause today. But one of the biggest is probably the Pakistan thing right now. It's a tragedy going on there. So, contribute in whatever way you can. Keep listening. Share the episode. Show it some love, especially on Apple Podcasts. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Till then, goodbye. Or as a dog would say, woof.